Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have a question for you. Has the price action of XRP emotionally destroyed you yet? Are you completely wrecked? Or are you still an optimist? Because I will just tell you, especially today like today, I've seen a lot of negative volatility. Oh my God, holy capitulation, Batman. Like, there are so many people, and even if they haven't literally sold everything, there's so many people that are so clearly defeated and sour because of this price action. Yet here, I still just have a fantastic day every day because I know big picture, it doesn't matter. Either my bet is right that XRP specifically is going to be long-term viability, and more broadly, the crypto asset class, either I'm right on those or I'm not. And anything in the short term doesn't indicate necessarily either. And in fact, this price action today most certainly doesn't. It's just regular volatility. And by the way, this isn't even just volatility in crypto. All sorts of markets are down, which I'll highlight. So frankly, even if you're being a little bit of a Debbie Downer right now, you done came to the right place. Because I'm going to share with you all sorts of reasons that it doesn't make sense to be fearful, and all sorts of reasons to actually be excited and optimistic about what is most likely to occur, even though I admit, of course, we can't know for sure. But I'm going to share with you perspective from a few analysts, including one who says, actually, it looks like XRP wants higher right now. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. You definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it's 11:52 p.m., getting close to my bedtime here, but I'm staying up just for you folks. 11:52 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. So it is still Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. XRP is at 55 cents, but it got as low as 53 cents within the last 24 hours. You got Bitcoin at $56,710. But got as low as $55,994. This is causing some people to feel very scared. Here's the Crypto Fear and Green Index, 27 out of 100. The market's in fear. And I will say something that I find reassuring because I know it's true. It just is true. At some unknown point in the future, the market, which is in fear right now, will flip to greed and ultimately extreme greed. And I tell you this, I'm going to have exposure to this damn asset class when that happens. But, you know, even in bull markets, you don't go up in a straight line forever. It's been a great year. Last year was great. Heading in the right direction in significant ways, right? But it's not the market's always going to try you. So take a look at this headline. I'm going to share with you a post from somebody on X. Here's the headline, which led me to it. XRP bull run to begin in 30 days, Analyst declares. So I'm just going to go straight to the source, and it was indeed widely circulated. It's been seen 104,000 times, and I like the sentiment. I don't pretend to know what the timeline's going to be, so we'll see if this guy ends up being correct or not. But there's some wisdom in here. There's some good points to be made. So I just want to read what he had to say, and then I'll share a couple thoughts. But check this out. He wrote, "The bull run kicks off in 30 days' time. XRP will start skyrocketing in 30 days' time. There's still an opportunity right now to accumulate XRP below $1. As October rolls around, you'll start to see XRP moving. By November/December, you will have lost the opportunity to accumulate XRP below $3, let alone below $1. By early 2025, we will see exciting price action for XRP, especially if we see a successful launch of an XRP ETF. Anyone saying otherwise doesn't understand the crypto market, doesn't understand the bull run, and doesn't understand XRP's place in the bull run cycle. Make no mistake about it, the next 6 months will be explosive for XRP." And so there are people out there, obviously, who are still optimistic and bullish, and I'm certainly one of them. So a couple things. As far as the XRP ETF thing, I'm not convinced that's going to matter too much. You can get temporary, short-term, positive bursts on little bits of news like that. But in terms of the amount of money that actually flows in, I've said my piece on that, so let's just set that aside. Not a huge deal. But I think a key takeaway here is that, because this is always how it goes, either you have exposure before the run happens or you don't. So I don't know if this timeline is right or not, but the exciting thing is that since we are in a bull market right now, it could be. And when things happen, oh boy, do they happen fast. People say, no, it's never going to happen, and things are static forever until it's suddenly not true, as was the case 4 years ago. XRP seemingly for months, I think it was sideways around 20-something cents. And then in like, I don't know if it was like a week or whatever it was above 80 cents. Lots of exciting price action. Then, of course, cratered back down after the SEC nonsense. How low did it get? 16, 17 cents? I can't remember it for sure, but it got low, whatever it was. And then in very short order, months later, after it was supposed to not be a thing anymore, despite the SEC news, it still rocketed to $2. That's insane. So you don't know for sure when stuff is going to happen, but the entire asset class moves in tandem. I just think it's completely silly, absurd, ridiculous, and unreasonable for anybody that thinks XRP isn't going to be one of the coins that'll be participating in the bull market. So on that broad point, I would agree. I just can't speak to specific timelines or price targets. I'm not a chart guy, so I stay completely out of the price prediction game. I let others take a stab at that. But, you know, I am comfortable saying, broadly speaking, that I certainly agree that it makes sense that XRP at some unknown point in the future hits a new all-time high in interest price discovery. I mean, if you just look at the degree to which there's continuous adoption for over a decade, then I would argue that if you think there's going to be a bigger crypto pie, more money flowing into crypto, XRP is a part of that. So why wouldn't that happen? It doesn't make logical sense to think it wouldn't happen. There's also this post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment, and they wrote, "The decline in overall whale activity across most crypto assets has become more and more noticeable. Peak 2024 $100,000 plus transaction weeks for Bitcoin and ETH compared to recently." And it's on your screen if you want to see the figures they're citing. I don't think it's necessary for me to make the point that I want to make. What they do is they go on to note that a decrease in activity doesn't necessarily mean that there's dumping. And so that shouldn't be too surprising. It's just the case that during times of mania, there's going to be more of everything. So even if it's whales going into distribution and selling finally when prices are way higher. But you see, what they've been noting, they wrote, it's right here at the end, they wrote, overall, among activity that is happening from whales, sentiment data still indicates a steady flow of accumulation despite less overall transactions. Now, my friends, I will tell you, I have never seen whales as a class of accumulators, let's say. I've never seen the whales get wrong-footed. Are they going to get wrong-footed for, like, what, as far as I know, would, I guess, be the first time? You don't see that. Even if in the short term there's a little bit of pain, like that's happened, sure. But then they've been dramatically wrong, and then all the people that are emotionally panic selling, they're right? I've never heard of such a thing. So even if there's more pain in the short term, okay, whatever. Welcome to investing, son. You're in crypto. You're in the most volatile asset class on the entire damn planet. So there are some bulls left. In fact, there's this post from Chart Analyst Blunt. He shared this with his 274,000 followers. He wrote, just this evening, this is just a few hours ago. He said, "Locked in, last bull standing. No more tweets until Bitcoin back above $65,000. And so his point's not lost. There's not that. There are a lot. I'll say it like this. There are a lot of people who are not feeling bullish at this moment. My perspective just hasn't changed. I still think we're going to see expansion in the markets. I think that's what's most probable. If you look from a historical perspective, that's what typically happens. And so I know that doesn't mean for sure it's going to, but that is what's most probable. And then I still feel comfortable even if the improbable happens, because I don't care. Even if it takes years, I still just hold them and I win. I let enough time pass and I win. That's how I do it. That's it. Welcome to investing. That's $100. Buy my course. See, that's the reason I don't have a course. If the typical person would be best served by just buying and holding. Those are the investors that win. You don't need a course for that. I have nothing to sell you as a result. Here's a post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto, and he said, "Bitcoin is gearing up for a parabolic expansion as it similarly did in 2020 post-Black Swan." Oh, yes, I remember. That was the end of the world, too. How many, raise your hand if you were here in March of 2020. You guys remember that, right? That's the chart that's on the right here, C19. Remember that panic? Oh my God, everything got hit, not just crypto. The stock market, it was a bloody time. It was the end of the world, except for it wasn't. Because, I mean, hell, so what did Bitcoin get down here? Somewhere in the 3,000s? XRP got down to 10 cents. It was the end of the world, right? Now, of course, that was actually the bottom of the market, and XRP 20x'd. It really did. XRP at 10 cents, and then a little over a year later, it was 20 times more expensive. So look, either you have exposure before this stuff happens, or you don't. And so look, he's just comparing, hey, he's seen similarities here. Let's see what happens. I will not be surprised if it's something like that. Here's Chart Analyst Mustache. He says, hashtag Bitcoin. Last cycle, 2013 through 2017 versus this cycle. No more words left. Make your own decision. New all-time highs soon. So as you can see, there are still bulls out there. Not surprisingly, I mean, all of the analysts that I follow are bullish with, maybe you could say one or two are like a little bit more neutral, but I don't follow a single analyst that happens to be bearish at this moment. And also, all of the analysts that I follow were bullish at the bottom of the bear market. They got that right. But they're wrong here, all of them. Not buying it. I do not think that is what's probable. I do not think they're going to get wrong-footed. I don't think the whales get wrong-footed. I just think that the markets just torture people. That's what I think. Here's a post also from Mustache, hashtag altcoins. And he shares a chart formation, falling wedge and inverse head and shoulders. And then he says, and the reason, of course, he shared that formation at the top right is because he's arguing that's what's happening here. So the chart on your screen is crypto total market cap excluding top 10 coins by dominance. And it's a dominance percentage chart. And so he says, hashtag altcoins. As already mentioned several times, altcoins have broken out of a 9-month falling wedge. Retest is almost complete. The time when altcoins were as cheap as they are now is almost over, in my opinion. So those of you looking at the screen can see exactly what he's talking about. Broke out, come back down for the retest. And this could be at a very interesting time, because what are we focusing on? Well, a number of things, but what I'm specifically thinking of right now, the most crucial thing, arguably, is we want expansion of the market. And so we know that we've never had an alt season without money also getting tossed about in the stock market and investments going further out the risk curve into small cap stocks. You know, that's why we keep looking at the Russell 2000, which is an index comprised of small cap stocks. So it makes me wonder, especially with hints of activity recently with the Russell 2000, it just makes me wonder, are those the earliest signs of life? Because if that goes and this goes at the same time, we'll look back on this and be like, yeah, that timing made sense. So he's like, yeah, he seems very confident. Yeah, this is it. It's what it's doing. It started to break out, and then it's retesting. And he has strong conviction. I'll say that. There's also this post from Chart Analyst Dom, just to highlight this is not just an XRP thing. This is not just even just a Bitcoin or crypto thing. So we shared these 6 different charts. What do we got? Bitcoin. I don't need to list them all, but the S&P 500, US dollar index, oil, gold. And so he says, rough day out there. Yeah, so just to point out, the macro factors are important here. And so like when the coin you hold goes down, just understand there's a lot more that are causing people to behave certain ways when it comes to investing. And it just trickles down, whatever macro factors there are, trickle down into your investments, including XRP. That's just how it is. And I think you're going to sleep a lot easier at night if you let that sink in. Here's a post also from Dom at TraderView2, XRP update. Like I said a week ago, just set alerts, nothing happens until 63 to 65 cents breaks. More so, Bitcoin needs to show a bullish structure shift. All eyes on the red box. It is a support that we would want to continue to see hold. Anything under is higher time frame bearish. So that caught my attention. He says, oh, and by the way, if you're not looking at the screen, the red box he's referencing is, I'll just say roughly anywhere from like 54 cents to 56.5 cents. And again, at the time I'm recording this, it'll do a XRP 55.4 cents now. And so he's saying, don't go below 54 cents. He's saying higher time frame, that would be problematic. And technically it did dip below that barely and very briefly. So I don't know that he would argue that would invalidate the point that he's making here, but he's saying this is what you should watch for. And he's not the only one that's arguing something very similar to that. Here's a post from chart analyst Dr. Magic, and he says, and this is XRP USD chart, he says, good reaction so far from XRP in lower time frame. As long as we hold that level posted yesterday in September, I don't see how XRP doesn't break out from that year-plus reaccumulation phase in October. You can see a level that he's talking about right here is pretty similar to what Dom was talking about, and here he's showing about 56 cents. So all eyes on that on the low end, and on the upper end, if you want to see some more fireworks break above maybe, say, 65 cents or so. And those are the levels I keep seeing from tons of different analysts, and I don't think they're all copying each other. Then there's also this. This is from chart analyst Dr. Magic. He says, 2 major levels of supply/demand in XRP priced against ETH. Right now, we have formed this interesting setup. Looks like XRP wants higher. Now, this is fascinating because XRP has not just been gaining ground when priced against ETH, which is always fun to see just because I love, if you look from a historical perspective, how XRP and ETH were jockeying for that number 2 spot back in 2017, 2018 bull run, which XRP did briefly hold. But XRP, after performing so poorly in recent years compared to many other coins, now has been outperforming. And, he's not the only one that was highlighting that. Here's also chart analyst Crypto Insight UK. He says XRP versus ETH trying to push above resistance now. They're both picking up. It's just, look at the trend in recent months. It just is what it is. And he says, I keep telling you all to watch this chart. And then, in a separate post, he wrote, XRP versus Bitcoin might be trying something too. And he shared this chart. I can make it full screen just for a second here. And then he says, undeniable weekly outperformance. Look what's happened historically when we get weekly/monthly closes above this line. This isn't clickbait. It's historical fact. Charts do not lie. All of a sudden, we have narratives coming. Nothing is confirmed yet, but this is how close we are. We'll be watching. XRP price against Bitcoin. It's been looking pretty for a few months now. The bottom was, what, June 7th? So, close to 3 months at this point. And so many metrics looking like they're actually going the right direction. We'll see. I think that there are way more reasons to be optimistic than scared here. That's just how I feel about it. You guys tell me what you think, but that's some of the latest perspective out there as far as markets are concerned. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.